Alright guys, so today I thought I'd go over how to play the T-3485M, the Tier 6 Soviet Premium Medium tank that everyone has now because of the Mission Marathon. I'll go over the strengths and weaknesses of the tank, as well as talking about its relevance in Tier 6 stronghold battles, alongside some excellent ace tanker gameplay from Cubulex 333. So now I'll jump onto tanks.gg and we'll take a look at the armoured profile of the vehicle. So as we can see, the frontal plate ranges from about 115mm to 120mm when angled straight towards us. This can go up to around 150 if we angle the tank to about 45 degrees. Obviously, as we'd expect, the tank has weak side armour at just over 50 degrees, but when steeply angled this can become an auto-ricochet zone. However, obviously the back is paper thin. The turret is basically a T-3485 turret, so it can bounce some shots off the front, but everywhere else, realistically, it's quite a weak turret. So with this armour, you should be expecting to get some ricochets, much more than the T-3485 for example, and you can also absorb some heat rounds in your spaced armour, but don't rely on it to bounce damage. You're definitely not a heavy tank, especially against higher penetration guns. Really you can't reliably bounce them. So now we can move on to the gun stats of the vehicle. So the tank has an 85mm gun with really abnormal DPM. Its DPM is 2165, which is realistically more like tier 8 medium DPM. Also has a very powerful alpha damage of 180, which is considerably more than things like the Cromwell, which has like around 140. The gun has decent 2.11 second aim time, and overall it has very playable gun handling. The main weakness of this gun is the poor 144mm of penetration, which can get frustrating, especially when engaging higher tier opponents. Overall, this is a very competitive gun at tier 6, offering excellent alpha damage and DPM. This also means that the tank gun is quite useful to have in tier 6 stronghold battles, where it can trade favourably with Cromwells and remain competitive against them with its increased DPM over the regular T-3485. The least competitive aspect of the tank is definitely its mobility. Of course, with extra armour, you trade that for your mobility, unfortunately. The tank gets a lackluster 500 horsepower engine, which also has very poor module health, so expect to see that damage quite a lot. Combine that with the increased weight and you get rather poor power to weight ratio of only 15.5, meaning this tank does feel rather sluggish, especially on gradients. The tank also falls behind the T-3485 in terms of its ground resistances, which are all about 10% worse than the regular version. So the equipment choices, realistically, gun lane drive, medium caliber tank gun rammer and coated optics are probably the best choices. You can use binos as well. For the crew, first train 6 cents on the commander, then repairs on the rest of the crew. Then retrain for brothers in arms, then go play high tiers because you're a stat padder and I hate you. Excuse me. So in top tier, this tank should be used to bully weaker tanks using its good armour and high alpha damage. And when fighting higher tier opponents, definitely try to flank them and use your excellent DPM on their weak side and rear armour. In tier 6 strongholds, you can play this thing basically like a T-3485. Trade alpha damage with lower caliber guns and tank shots from Cromwells and Type 64s with your increased armour. Just be aware that more mobile tanks can flank you and circle you as if you're a pocket heavy, really. So I think I'll finish there, guys. I hope you found this useful or at least entertaining. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
I walk with the elephants.